Hello and welcome to Channel Sport on Sunday. I am Ken Ochonogo. Today we're starting from abroad. This charity is starting from abroad because right there in England, it is the derby. It is the derby of the league. Sometimes you say you have the Manchester derby, the London derby, the Merseyside derby, a lot of derbies in England. So even the derby of England. But this one is the derby of the league, the current form. Because of the past 3 seasons or so, 3-4 seasons, it's been either Manchester City or Liverpool. Even then, that Liverpool has just won the league once during that period. The fight had been on. And today, right there at the Etihad Stadium, we are going to ask ourselves, will it be a decider? Man City went to, Merseyside went to Liverpool and drew that first blood. But right now, from 12 points lead, they've narrowed it down to just a single point, 73-72, as they go into this cracker, into this decider, into this war. They say when the elephants fight the grasshoppers, but then the fans all over the world will be waiting. It is not just about the team. It is about even the coaches. They have their respective fans. The Guardiola group, that the Pep group, the even, in fact, when this thing comes like, you find out that even the Mourinho group are all there. Somebody is waiting for somebody to sleep. Who will take the gauntlet? Who will be the team that will say, let us take it to each other? But at the end of the day, probably it might end all square. But whatever it is, we are going to look forward to a great fight today. 4:30 p.m. Nigerian time is going to be Manchester City taking on Liverpool, and that is part of the excitement of today. But the early hours of today, the young French guy, Charles Leclerc, went to down under in Australia and said, yes, I am the new one. I am the new kid on the block. And I tell you, 2 wins out of 3 with Red Bull, are not finishing. In fact, Vettel, I'm not talking about Vettel. Of course, Vettel didn't finish. Vettel didn't finish the race. Sainz didn't finish the race. But then Verstappen was the man I was trying to get in there. Verstappen was right there at number 2, giving the hit to Leclerc. And then with just a few laps to go, the guy just sparked his engine, and that was it. So I tell you, 71 points from the first 3 races. It is looking at a one-man race. We are not seeing there, but then it is the engine. Somebody might just pack up once, and it is there. But as we speak, Mercedes are just struggling. Ferrari is very, very hot. But then the Red Bull machine is looking unreliable. I don't know, it is happening to them. In the first race, the 2 Red Bull the teammates did not finish. This one again, Max Verstappen did not finish. So what is happening there? So we'll take a look at the races and see whether before the 4th race, maybe something will give or something will change. Our girls went to Canada for that friendly Falcons, I tell you, but then they lost by 2-0. They are nothing to be ashamed of. But then if we look at the current form of both teams, because the Canadians are the Olympic champions. But then when we say Nigeria has been there from 1991, when we went to China to go there to the World Cup, went to the 95 in Norway, 99 in the USA. We've been a long while coming. So by now, where have we gotten to? How has the step been? Have we progressed or retrogressed in the past how many years that we've been there, rubbing shoulders with the best in the world? In Africa, it is all walked through, but then it has not been so again, because we've not been qualifying for the Olympics. The Ghanaians have been going, the South Africans have been going, the Cameroonians have been going, and then so probably we just have to look at what is wrong. And then there is that whisper. It is not just confirmed, that whisper of changing coaches and changing captains. Let us not go there. We'll talk confirmation on this show. So but that is not how it is now. But then we started from abroad, coming back home 2 weeks back here. We had the King of the South, Sammy Virginia, telling us that Rivers United is a team to watch. Rivers United they played 21 matches and they've lost just 1 match, and that game they lost was against a lobbyist by Plateau United, who are right there on their hill. So today, with 22 matches, they've started the next 2 matches they played in the second stanza. They've won 1 and they've drawn 1. So it tells you that yes, they are hot. We shall look at how the league is panning out, and we shall ask ourselves where we are going to. But then When you look at, when you go back, when you look at football as it is moving, it is not where every league is coming to the. This is the home stretch. 7, 8 matches to go. So we want to know who are the kingpins. How are they doing? How are they doing? So let me start with my guys. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ken, for having me, and happy Palm Sunday to our viewers.
Happy Palm Sunday. That is Triumph Palm Sunday to our viewers, our Christian viewers at home. That is what he's saying. Theo, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Thanks for having me.
Let us start from abroad. Today, like I said, it is Man City taking on Liverpool. How crucial is this game?
Ken, I don't know. For me, I see it as a normal match. It will not be a factor in the title decider. That is what I see. I express my sympathy for Liverpool because it's like they are currently walking in the valley of the shadow of death. They had Benfica, Man City today, Benfica on Tuesday, Man City again in the FA Cup, and they'll meet Man U again. We were talking about derbies. That one's another derby. Then Everton. So I don't see any fixture that could be as wicked in quote as what as testing as what the club will be passing through. So Man City this season, they've lost to Southampton, they lost to Crystal Palace. In fact, against Crystal Palace, they came out with 1 point. So that's why I don't see this match. 2 seasons back, it was the decider. In fact, that ball that was 10 millimeters, where John Stones cleared the ball, defined the entire season. So this season, this match will not define this season because they've had their banana peel in the next, we'll still have 8 matches to go. So, but it's better you win this match. You have this point announced to your positions. I don't see Liverpool losing the match. They might not win. It could be a trouble. Liverpool, I don't see them losing this match.
Okay, Okwe says he doesn't see Liverpool losing this match. But then, like we said, the league is hotting up in Europe. In Nigeria, we are seeing with 22, so we still have about 16 or 17 matches to go. But in Europe, it is hotting up, and that is what we want to look at next. We want to look at the various league. Later we'll look at, but let us look at the league leaders in each the various league and how they are performing this week. Because the deciding matches are coming in, as we are saying, this match may not be the decider. But then if City wins and they go 4 points clear, I think it is almost out. If Liverpool wins and then they go 2 points clear, they will now say, okay, fine, somebody might drop there. But if 4 points clear by City might just almost like end the league. But if it ends in a draw, then it is that 1 point, ding dong that the one man goes top. If you play first, you go. If you win, you go top. If the other guy comes back, he takes, he takes it.
Except you are one team from London, Arsenal.
When we take the EPL, when we take the EPL results, because some teams had matches in hand, and then they say, look, we have 2 games in hand, and those 2 games, they had it was against Crystal Palace and against Brighton, and then you expect that it that has been on that streak, that hot winning streak, apart from the loss that they had, just 1 loss that they had, in between, would have gone in, but then that's how the cookie crumbled. They collected, it was 3 from Crystal Palace, and then you remember that in the first meeting between Arsenal and Crystal Palace at the Emirates, Arsenal equalized at the death. It was almost at the last kick of the match before and then so this one. Crystal Palace they went straight and whatever it is. But let's take this. Let's just start from. Want to look at this. The match that they played, and those that are built to be played today by the league leaders in the top leagues in Europe. In Europe. Real Madrid will be taking on Getafe today. They won 2-0 against Getafe.
Yesterday.
How significant is that?
Okay, well, with Madrid beating Getafe, they are gone, automatically went 12 points clear of Sevilla, 15 points clear of Barcelona, although Barcelona have 2 games in hand, but they need to exert their dominance. Now, to put it into perspective, Barcelona have not lost a game this year, that's 2022. When Xavi took over, they were 15 points behind Real Madrid. Right now, on 12 points behind Real Madrid. Right now, they win their game today. They will still be 12 points behind Real Madrid. The only difference is that Barca will be in second place. Madrid have remained in first place. So it shows you how consistent
both teams.
Well, Real Madrid and Barca have been consistent. Yeah. But show you how consistent Real Madrid have been over the course of the season. A lot of people say with the fact that Barca have been winning a lot of games, by now they would have probably cut the gap again with Real Madrid to like half. 6 points by now, but it's still 12 points. So you show you that Madrid is doing fairly well. And don't forget, in the Champions League last week against Chelsea, where they had never beaten Chelsea to progress over a two-legged tie, they defeated Chelsea at Stamford Bridge by 3-1. We saw Karim Benzema stepping up and doing the unthinkable, scoring goals that on a normal day, if you do not put those goals away, I don't think any coach will blame you. But he showed his class on that day, and then he was able to perform. And yesterday again, we saw the Real Madrid team coming together and dispatching their opponents by 2-0. So to a large extent, I think Real Madrid are doing really well. If they go on to win this league, it's because they deserve to win the league. And they might end up adding the Champions League to their camp.
Okay. But I think, Ken, permit me to say, they really well is maybe negative parallel because they've been consistent. But again, we have to factor the consistency of Sevilla. They've been consistent in getting the draws.
Yes.
They have about 12 draws. So if they were actually pushing the same way Barcelona have been pushing of late, I don't think the gap will have been that 12. But because their consistency has been getting those draws like Manchester United.
They've been trying to avoid defeat.
No. But
no, because it's like now you're talking about 12 draws. Yes. I would rather go for 6 wins and 6 losses than to go for 12 draws. Okay. Somebody will go for
draws is the hallmark of a mid-table size, Ken. Not unbeaten. Once you have those draws, we have Cameroon having draws in 82, Espana 82. Yes. They never went anywhere. Yes. We had New Zealand having draws in South Africa 2010. They never went beyond the first. So draw mentality has more to do with a mid-table team, not a superior side.
Okay, let's go through them because we can see them there. Bayern 1-0, Osberg. Any surprises there?
No, it's a traditional win for Bayern Munich, considering they've been on this odd goal advantage in the past couple of matches for them. So I think stepping.
I think Bayern Munich are conserving their goals, unlike Chelsea that went on to score. Because Bayern have a tough test coming up against Villarreal at the Allianz Arena, I think on Tuesday. And the thing about Villarreal was in their fixture where they ended up getting a draw yesterday. Villarreal, I think that was against Atletico Bilbao yesterday. Yeah. 11 players that were on the pitch, not one single player featured in the game against Bayern Munich. So the coach, basically what Unai Emery did was that he rested all 11 players that took on Bayern Munich in the first leg.
Waiting for them.
So they know what Bayern can do to you at home. Yeah. So they know that they're going for a stiff test. But Bayern against Augsburg, I think it was a result that nobody ever had in doubt. Although we would have thought they would have scored more, but I think, like I said earlier, they're keeping their goals for Villarreal.
Okay, I stick with you. Clement, foot PSG. Neymar with a hat-trick.
For the first time in PSG, we see Neymar and Mbappe both scoring hat-tricks, and Lionel Messi getting a hat-trick of assists in that one. So all 3 men were on fire. And I think right about now, PSG about 15 points.
15 points clear
of their nearest. So it's another league title for Lionel
Messi. That is a league title.
That is done and dusted.
Okay, so Messi will win the league title.
Definitely. What did he go there to do before? He went there to win
No. He went there for the Champions League.
It's unfortunate. Real Madrid had other plans for them.
Ajax has been in imperial form. Their coach is like with this. Somebody's tapping their coach.
Yes. See, Ken, just state it. Manchester United are looking to get Ten Hag. Although he has been warned that he should opt to go to a team that is what's the word?
A proper football club,
not a
commercial club.
And the person advising him came from the commercial club.
He was a face for him. Exactly, he experienced it. He has seen it, and he knows firsthand the kind of club Manchester United is. But no one can doubt the fact that Ajax have played a very, very beautiful football under Ten Hag, and he's got the whole world watching the young Dutch side. We've seen quite a number of players exit the club, talking from Frankie de Jong to Hakim Ziyech to even Donny van der Beek. Quite a number of players have left Ajax, but he seems to be able to recruit players, and he's able to he's still able to get the job done. So I think it's a good one. Man, you are finally able to get a coach that the whole world touts as a very fantastic coach.
Okay, Celtic. I mean, they changed their coach. Gerrard left and the Rangers, and then everything just turned in their favor. 7-0 against St. Jose.
Well, it's Celtic. Traditionally, I don't think other than Rangers, no other person dominates the league like Celtic does. So to a large extent, but then again, 7 goals. What we used to say with Barcelona back then, you know, under Pep, when you see 6-1, 5-0, 7-0, you know. I remember when this brother, the former coach of Valencia, he was always talking there as a pundit that he will never concede 7 goals in a match. Gary Neville, thank you very much. Yes. And then against Barcelona, conceded 7. I think it was like 2 games after that he was sacked. But scoring 7 goals.
Yeah, he stepped aside.
He stepped aside. Okay, that's a fancy way of putting it. But 7 goals, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the last time
we'll talk about the Man City.
Yeah.
All right. We have been told that our guest is ready to join us. Let us join the master himself. It's a pleasure to have him on the show, my friend, my brother, and then the kind of consistent voices that we've been asking for. He's the president of International Sport Press Association, AIPS, that is all over the world for Nigeria, and the vice president in the world of the association. Mitch, you're welcome to the show. Good afternoon, Mitchell. Good afternoon. We have Mitchell Obi on the show.
Yeah. Happy Palm Sunday, my brother. I don't know whether you have a way to find your own donkey to move into the promised land, but then you can gallop. You can gallop very well. It's a beautiful Sunday, and I like your jacket.
Thank you very much, Mitch. Thank you very much. Mitch, we have to drag you this Sunday. We have to drag you this Sunday to look at sports in Nigeria, but most importantly, football. I wanted to start somewhere after we spoke, but something else did happen. So I want to start it from this way. In the past 2-3 days or so, we've had the president of Nigerian Football Federation saying, I am not contesting again. No mas, I'm not going for a 3rd term. Mitchell, can you look at the past 8 years and see where our football has gone when this board came? You know, how has this board fared? You know, developmentally, in every way around that you want to assess, you know, a board of Nigerian Football Federation.
Yeah, thank you very much, and my pleasure to be here. And let me start by saying that 8 is a number of renewal, and that if you have 8 years of service, that means essentially that you can not only count your blessings and losses, but also you can look back with a sense of service and ascertain where you have been. Our football, yes, with the 8 years of Amaju Pinnick, a young man we promised. He was just 50 the other day, so he's still hoping to make a mark. Yeah. And we have seen 8 years in which our football has neither been here nor there. Indeed, there was stability in the Super Eagles. In the past, it used to be a case of if the Eagles don't perform, we switch over to the age group teams. This time, many decided to stay with the Eagles. We saw an Eagles that flowed for quite a while. We saw them go to the World Cup in Russia with plenty of optimism. But then we disappointed in Russia. We saw them failing to qualify even before then for 2 Nations Cup, which was very close to us. Our neighbors were hosting. We couldn't be there. And even when we decided to go for a Nations Cup hosted by another neighbor, you saw what happened. That was the worst ever Nations Cup in 40 years or so in terms of result. But then our ranking improved because we lost only 1 game, or critical game as it was, in that last Nations Cup. And talking about the Olympics, you can understand that while the girls were not in the Olympics, the men too were not Olympics. And Olympics is one place we have made our mark. Indeed, we have won bronze. Is it bronze, silver, and
gold?
Bronze?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. And so we have not been in the Olympics, and we hope that we can be in the Olympics for whatever dispensation that will come. So talking about results, essentially, that is the scorecard. 2 Nations Cup missed, a Nations Cup participated. We picked the bronze in Egypt, and then the last Nations Cup in Garwa. You know the result. And then the crush of it all, where we thought it was the crescendo for a dispensation that has enjoyed tremendous goodwill from the private sector and, of course, from Nigerians. This is one dispensation which the critics decided to sheath their knives and allow peace to reign. But then the results have not been heartwarming. And my good friend Awanju talks about not contesting for the third term. That was being preemptive because we don't even know what date has been fixed for the election. We don't even know who the candidates should be. And third term was no guarantee. Indeed, he should count his blessings that in Nigerian football firmament, since we went professional, he stands out as the only leader of the Nigerian Football Federation who has done a second term, bringing his total to 8 years. And for those 8 years, I think it's only good for him to look back and say, I have done my bit. Is it good enough? That's left for history. But the history shows us that we have seen better performances from other leaders of our football.
Okay. You want a question for him? All right. Okpe has a question for you.
Good afternoon, Micha.
Yeah, bonjour, ça va?
Yeah, ça va bien, monsieur. I always call him monsieur often. All right. Back in 1998, after the visit of Pope John Paul, you made a clarion call that there should be reconciliation in the House of Football in Nigeria. I don't know whether you still remember that at the Swan seminar prior to France 98. Now, still talking about reconciliation. We've had 9 years of Amadu's leadership, and for CAF Champions League, we've only made the group stages twice in 2017, 2019, Lobby and Enyimba. We've never gone past the group stages, save for those 2 occasions where we were even lucky to make it. Confederations Cup, we made the semi-final in 9 years once. And I don't know, with this, how would you rate the impact of the Amadu-led committee as per Nigerian football development?
The vision of the Amadu's dispensation is very obvious. There was heavy emphasis on the Super Eagles, and it was believed that if Super Eagles win, all is well. But the health of the game at the domestic level has never really been as disturbing as it is now. Can you count it? It's now 4 years. We are thinking about bringing back television to our domestic football. I mean, you can talk about the continental free. The point is that if you have clubs who don't even have the resources to really get themselves going, how do they want to compete? Compete at a time when you are looking at good prize money for football at the winning phase. You have the group stages, and that's where it counts. We have seen teams that have been consistent, yet when they get to the international frame, they meet competition that is total, competition that is steep, competition that does not help. Our domestic game has been, I don't want to say it's been neglected because there has been effort, but all these efforts, if you come to summarize it, does not really give you the joy in your heart, because as I keep insisting, we must build our treasures at home, and we have not done that. Even the government has not helped. The government has not helped our football. If the government wants to help the football, they will come out and become the game changer. We need a government that can sow good seed for our domestic game. Can you think about a grant to our league and see where our football can go in terms of even employment, in terms of engagement, in terms of creating opportunities for the young ones? We have not thought about that. We have not looked at the game, and this is the base. It's the bread and butter of our football. Indeed, in a country like Nigeria, if you have a viable league where the prize money towers above 400 or 500 million, you can imagine what our clubs will be doing. They will dominate Africa. Everybody will be coming here. And at a time where the economy is in a shaky, sovereign state, this is the time to build our football at home. And our boys won't be going to play outside, and we'll start talking about not European-based Eagles, but European-born Eagles.
There has been some whispers, of course, Guavo and his team were just there temporarily on interim basis. So there's been some whispers about, where we are going. And then we are hearing also that now we are going foreign. We are going to pick up foreign coaches. I want to ask first part before we go to the second part. I want to take where we've been dominating Africa in the female football. Without going there. In the past 5 editions of the OCON, of the African Women Championship, we've had 5 different coaches taking us there. We had Kadiri Kana, we had Edwin Okon Florence Omagbemi. We now went to Thomas Denaby, and now we are going to Randy Weldrum. Going, that is when we go to Morocco now for the next Ocon Championship. Mitch, looking at this setup that we have not seen. The transition from one coach to the other, and then moving from local coaches to foreign coaches. Have you seen a remarkable difference in the performances of the foreign coaches as against those of Nigerian coaches?
you just told us exactly what the outcome has been. In the 9 times we've won the Women's Nations Cup, the home-based coaches, so to speak, yes, because you have to call them home-based. You even have Sam Opodu, you put him there.
Yeah.
Yes, the 9 times we won the Women's Nations Cup, 6 times or 7 belongs to Nigerian coaches. And even women they've gone as far as holding the team to win, and that's the tradition all over.
Yes.
The United States champions over time, even the Canadian team. South Africa,
yes. Go too far.
Even go abroad.
Yeah.
Indeed, when they came here to play us and gave us that shocking result, the lady who was coach was also a teammate of some of our players.
Yes.
So it's not a question of home or foreign. My argument has been, if we can't get the best here and we are bringing in foreign coaches, we must define their mission. It is sad to see coaches who come, they learn lessons, and these lessons are not translated here. We don't get to benefit from what they've learned. They just leave. And when they leave, there is like we are starting from scratch. Indeed, it looks like a big black hole when we employ foreign coaches. But when you employ a Nigerian coach, the best or the worst option is that either he or she goes to handle a club side in Nigeria and tries to even give back some of the things he got from his international experience. That way, you improve the spectrum of the game. You improve the dimensions of the game. That is my argument. And for women football, I think we need to start looking at our women also handling the team. That's the future. And we have some women coaches across the globe who have made their mark. And it's time for them to start coming home. Just like we are talking about the Super Eagles having some of those who have played the game, those who have administered the game in terms of how they are giving positions, coming back to manage the fortunes of our national team. That way you are talking about all-round development. The players are developing, the coaches are developing, those who even manage administrators are developing, and even, why not, even our referees. It's a shame. The World Cup, even if we are not going to the World Cup, wouldn't have been fine, wouldn't have even thought about celebrating a referee going to the World Cup, but there is not. Because even in the Little Nations Cup, little in terms of its continental status, we can't even boast of referees handling crucial matches. They may handle one match, but then from quarterfinals, where do you see a Nigerian coach? For Africa's most populous, passionate country, we can't even boast of a referee that will go to the World Cup, even if our team doesn't go there. That tells us that our development is skewed. Our development is one-sided. It's not complete. But beyond all of that is the fact that this is a time for us to reevaluate. And I'm happy that they say they have a committee that will give us a 10-year master plan. What is a 10-year master plan for football? Far back in 2000, when we came out with a Vision 2010 master plan for sports, we're saying that by 2010, Nigeria should be in a position not only to host the World Cup, but also to win the World Cup. And if we are going to the Olympics, we should be talking about 5 gold medals. But we are in 2022. And I don't know what the target of that master plan will be, but I want to believe that by 2030, we should be in a position to have a league that should be number 1. Nigeria is rated 12th. We have the 12th best league in Africa. That is not good enough.
Earlier on, you said something about the government being a game changer. In which areas? How do you think the government can intervene without being seen as interference?
Now, if government gets involved in development, they don't call that interference.
Okay.
Some will say it's intervention. and a positive intervention. And that's what FIFA encourages. Because if FIFA wants to host the World Cup, they sign agreement with the government.
Good.
Yeah, so it's not as if interference is when it comes to the politics of the game. The government wants to impose a candidate. Government wants to insist on certain aspects of football, especially with the rules, tamper with the rules. That's where they talk about government. But all over Africa, you cannot take away government from the football. Look at what happened in Cameroon, where Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, and Patrice Motsepe, the CAF president, they were both struggling to hold the cup, to carry to an old man who is the president of Cameroon. They were both, you could see the shame of carrying trophy, moving around the field to go and as if they didn't know that they were to present the trophy. They would have kept the trophy in the head, and then the players moved there and then let him hand. But you can see that, is that not government? We're talking about government. People, let's not get there. Let's not get there. The issue is simple. Government can become the game changer. The game changer in terms of how they invest in our sports. And that investment must be total. They are investing in the arts. Look at Central Bank. Look at what kind of money they're putting to build a national arts theater, redo it and get the arts scene totally energized.
Exactly.
What kind of intervention have we gotten from sports? This is a season of politics, and all those who want to be president of Nigeria must tell us exactly what they don't want to do for the Nigerian youth and in tandem for Nigerian sports. We have seen presidents who made their mark because they identify with sports. MK Abiola, the president we never had, was the African pillar of sports. We are beginning to see that any person who wants to rule Nigeria must also think about what they want to bring into sports. And sports should not just be for journeymen, where you look at the selection of ministers and you pick the last in the list and say, go there and see what you can do. This is the time for us to get sports at a viable industry. I mean, we are talking about an industry, a sector that's waiting to transform into an industry. And that's why I hear them talk about the sports industry bill or law or whatever it is. This is the time for us to take that step, graduate from a sector to an industry. And you can see the difference that will make. Look at what will be happening in the next 2 days or so. The Heineken Trophy Tour. They are bringing the Champions League trophy for us to enjoy. We should be taking our own challenge cup also across the world, because Nigerians across the world are passionate still about our football.
Exactly.
I know Shooting Stars fans in America, Shooting Stars fans in Europe. If Shooting Stars win an FA Cup and you take it on the tour, you will see many Nigerians identify with that.
Exactly.
But you have to build the game. We have to build the game. We have not built the game. It's not even a product. Not to talk of a brand.
It is not a product. I'll talk of a brand. We talked about this the government here. For some weeks on this show, we looked at the budget of sports, and we found out that, Mitch, that for the budget of sports in Nigeria, about 92% of that budget goes to NYSC. About 1.2% or so, about 1.2 billion, which is about 2% or so, goes to NFF. Now, Mitch, does it make sense? I mean, do we have, like I said, I don't know if you can advise on this, that if sport can have its own separate ministry for funding, and youth, because it is a youth and sport, youth take 92%, and sport takes 8% of Ministry of Youth and Sport budget. Mitch, how do you see this? Sorry, I don't know if I want to ask any question or I want to add, yes.
You took it out of my mouth.
Okay.
NYSC takes like 93% of the budget for the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport Development. The current expenditure, salaries, emolument for staff or military staff takes about 3%. Now, what goes to sports development itself is less than 5%. And we are talking about a president that will come and give us, be the face that will change sport, take sport to the next level. But with 5% of the budget for the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport Development, we cannot go anywhere. What can you say to this, Monsieur?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this is a very pertinent question. And that, I believe the solution is all of us. This is the time for us now to start telling those at the helm of leadership that sports needs total re-engineering in terms of funding. And when we are talking funding, we're not talking about 2 billion. I mean, if the Super Eagles had qualified for the World Cup, we're looking at $12.5 million. In Nigerian Naira terms, how many billion is that? So let's not even look at the kind of chicken feed they give sports in Nigeria. We are just scratching the surface. We are even saying that give us some of the facilities. If government even invests in the facilities, then on their capital level, then we'll be talking about how we can even get to run our sports effectively. But even the facilities are missing. Abuja Stadium was just refurbished by a private individual the other day. The Lagos also is being refurbished by a private individual. Of course, we need that kind of partnership, but government has to be more forthcoming. Government has to be what I call, they must be more forward-looking in terms of how they can use sports. The game against Ghana, we saw our president sitting down there. What did he come to do? He came to celebrate if Eagles had won. It would have been a good point for the political party if Eagles had won that day, and they will have been telling us different good stories. But then that is the measure of our sports. If you can love it, invest in it. And this is the time for us to start looking at what kind of investment we can bring into sports. That way, we can now ask the private sector to see. Private sector in Nigeria is a dependent peripheral private sector. They follow the government. Where government goes, that's where they go. That's why you see the refinery, everything. Government is pushing that. If sports is as viable and they find that sports is beginning to change the dynamics, and we can put a solid case on how our sports is potentially a gold mine, they will see it and they will understand it. And I know that it's only a matter of time for those who have the energy to sit down and start spinning the thoughts that will give the leadership and understanding of what sports can do. Sports has become the game changer across the globe. It's a veritable catalyst for the meeting of the Sustainable Development Goals. Indeed, in 2016, when those goals were passed, sports was singled out as the enabler to match some of those goals. Can heal the sick, can create avenues to solve the poverty drain. It can help to ginger a populace that is dormant. More than anything, it can bring peace. And this country needs peace. It can take away the violence. Yes. We have seen so many.
Yeah.
In Medugri, they had to hire the team that should come and play the league game. And everybody came. There was nothing that happened after. So this is not an avenue for us to really granulate some of these issues, my brother.
Okay, Mitch, let's see if we can take some calls while we are doing this. I think we can open the lines and see if callers can join the conversation. Mitch, for decades now, you've been mentoring young sport journalists and other journalists coming up. What should be the responsibility of the journalist in sports development vis-a-vis our environment, Nigerian environment? Yeah.
The sports journalist is the key. You take him away from sports, it's like an African dance without a drum. There will be no beat for you to dance. And that's the power of the sports journalist. He holds the key to change, because there are so many sports journalists who have not been trained. They don't even understand the different dimensions, the multimedia nature of our business today. But then the sports journalist should be seen as a veritable partner in the development and promotion of sports. I keep insisting that there are two aspects of sports. You have the development, which encompasses training, talent scouting, and of course competition. And you have the other side, which comes to promotion of that sports and exhibition of the talents. That is the side the sports journalists come. And then we are the ones who glue. We glue the two and show the light. Can you think about the World Cup without television?
Can you think of the king dancing with nobody clapping on itself? You need the audience, and somebody has to make that thing possible. Okay, we are still looking at it. We are still trying to pick your brains, Mitch. I hope you don't care. Okay, I think we have a caller now from Lagos here. Ofoma is on the line. Hello, Ofoma.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want my greetings to everybody and your guests over there.
Yeah.
Yes, your guests are making vital points, and I want you to even respond to it. You know, he mentioned that looking at it, the Amadi Clinic with his committee, they focus too much attention on the Super Eagles, where the other teams suffer a lot because of not giving attention to them. Like the female that Michelle Obi mentioned, you know, the females that make us, especially the Super Falcons, that make us so proud in Africa. But little in them, we invest in them. Even though recently the crisis that is happening in Super Falcons also, they also look into it, which the NFA and their Amadi thing and its committee, they are not doing a lot of controversy on the aspect of the Falcon. And also he mentioned the Nigeria League, which is true. Even though the Nigeria League, no more contribution is being done in that aspect. So for example, we are going to the Nations Cup. We cannot even see any player for our local team here to be part of the Nations Cup. Nothing at all. Even
can you summarize it for me, please?
Yes, I'm trying to summarize now. And one of the vital points you also mentioned, you say, even though in Nigeria, we cannot have a coach, a referee rather, that will represent. Because I was asking the other time for another sporting journalist that said, how many referees that represent all the recent Nations Cup that hand? They say only one, just assisting referee.
Yes.
But across the world now, we cannot even say that this World Cup we are going, no representatives at all for our referee. They should look into it. That's my contribution.
Okay, Mitch, he was just summarizing all.
He was helping me to say that there is no aspirational trust again in our domestic game. A situation where you can't even carry 28 players from abroad, and there is no one from a country with over 10,000 registered league player. It's not right, my brother. Of course, we have shouted that for so long, but it depends again on the head. And if, as I say, if the head is not as strong on the neck, the body will not hold. So I want to say that a lot has been done to women's game. FIFA has shown the way with the kind of money FIFA is pumping into women's football and the money that comes even to the federation. There should be maximum attention to women's football. Of course, it goes back to what Sepp Blatter used to say, that the future of the game is feminine. And that means that if the women are involved in football, it becomes a family thing. And if the family is involved, it becomes, the family is the nucleus of any community or any society. And so that's the strength of it. Women's football, yes, they have been playing some exciting friendlies, but then we need to start looking at even the league. Somebody has to put good money for the clubs who spend their money to manage their players, manage their settings, travel. Let them have the kind of ginger, yes. Let them have the kind of ginger that will keep them on.
Okay, I think Olaf has some questions for you. Hello, Owo.
Oh, thank you very much, Kai. I really appreciate to bring Michelle Obi. Okay. Please, Michelle, Kai, you are the one I want you to do one thing. Bring the experts to let us know how much we lost in for losing up
for not going to the World Cup. Okay.
Thank you very much. Let the whole world know what the NFF cost for us in this country. It can do a little things in our economics because it's not that losing that only that day. We lose a lot of money. Please bring us back and Michelle, please. What can you do to come and contribute to the NFF president, please?
Mitchell, they say go and buy form.
Well, I don't need that. I am a journalist. I remain a journalist. And what more? I am at the top of journalist administration. So why? I don't need anything more. Look, when you are in charge of your endeavor, that comes from the heart.
Yeah. For
you, it becomes fun. It becomes fun. So I am not interested. I've managed clubs before. You know that, Doctor. Niger Dog.
I know.
Enjoy double bargain. They cruise and football, and then you wash it down with good time at Kosi Wahala. And you see the coming in.
All right, Mitch.
That's the pitch. The first
yes,
ever,
the Niger dog pitch.
Club pitch.
Yes, exactly.
Private club. We built that pitch. Why did we build it? Because when we started professional football, in the decree that set up professional football, it was said that for 7 years there will be tax moratorium for any club that will have a stadium. It was only Niger Dog, and I had to leave the government as special advisor to the minister. I had 4 more years, and we set up a stadium in Snake Island just to meet that criteria. And the tax people wanted to beat the hell out of us. How could we allow the president sign a law in which we gave 7 years tax moratorium to anybody who could build a stadium?
They don't know that. Yes, the lines are still very much open. You guys can throw your questions to him. He will answer you. And this, Mitchell, we are saying probably by September or so, anyway, somebody has said you should go and buy a phone, but like that aside, probably by September we should be midwifing a new board in place. What should be the direction? What are we lacking? Where have we derailed? There was this. We're moving up the youth fund. A lot of things were coming up. The league was tickling, and then I mean there was a football industry, even a sport industry then, even if we didn't recognize it with individuals. I'm just looking at the 20 teams in the league now. We just have Remo Stars and the MFM. Gone were the days when we have a lot of private individuals coming in. Like you talk about Niger Dog. You talk about institutions, companies owning a lot of these things. But let us take this call first before we come to you. Dayo is calling us right here from Lagos. Hello, Dayo.
Hello. Good afternoon, Ken.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Mitchell.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Hello. Okay. Now, this is, I will call this one, that this is a question to answer for our leaders, exactly from our sports, especially our local league. Our local league in 2013, Stephen Keshi was one who took us to Nations Cup in South Africa. Yeah. Only about 7 players from our local league here. I can remember Sunday Mba. Sunday Mba did not even have club. The 2 Rangers and Warriors, they were coordinated to take that guy to work to take that guy to Nations Cup. I don't know. I think the best vendor in that tournament was a guy from Sunshine. I think about 7 players. And this guy brought... Yeah. Hello, Obobona. Thank you, my brother. God bless Obobona from Sunshine. That guy, up to now, that guy played very vital in our defense then. It's from a local league here. But it's just an embarrassing to this country. It's very, very embarrassing to our sport that in African Cup of Nations, we can now have the 2 or 3 players that can take us to work up the Nations Cup and do something tangible. I don't know our local league is not working. Please, they should cancel the local league. Because I'm a supporter of Sunshine, I love Sunshine very well. I do watch them. But I don't know why our sports journalists, especially Ken, please, I'm talking to you in person, please. Tell our sports journalists, tell them to promote our league. Charity begins at home. Please, the joy of sports start from home. It's from local league here. Last time, I tell you about 2 months ago, I went to National Stadium here. I saw close up and I said, God, may God revive Nigeria back to old days. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, thank you, Doc. Okay, Mitch, let's hear you.
Just to add to that, Ken,
yes.
It must be a deliberate effort to get domestic players to be part of the national team. Yeah, it must be a deliberate effort. And if it's not deliberate, you may always say that our league has not brought out the qualities necessary for the national team. Our league has not shown the kind of richness that other players, we lack the facilities, training, as if you need more than a good field to start really grooming. Football, of course, has gone very technical, so you need beyond the field, but then the field is the base. And what he said, the league today is alive. Go to Jos and see the crowd today. Go to Aba. Go to Katsina. Go to Medugri. The crowd is there, but television doesn't even bring that home because television is absent. And you ask yourself, what is happening to the network of Nigeria? In South Africa, if you read the SABC vision, They say because they found out that sports has become a unifying force, everywhere there is sports in South Africa, SABC will be there. That is a mission statement. What happens to our national network? What money do we pump there specifically for NTA to use in promoting, developing sports? We have hosted the World Cup, for God's sake, Ken. What has happened? What has happened? And then the training. That's what I tell my colleagues. I say, look, if you don't develop your league, there will come a time where you will not even have something to fall back upon. The guys in England don't talk about your league. The guys in Spain don't talk about your league. They enjoy the fact that they send you material you carry because you are expanding their audience reach. And it's eyeballs, it's a question of eyeballs. And if the reach is high, the brands will be there. Big brands, global brands will go where their product can find a place. And so these guys are expanding their frontiers. We are even not only restricting, we have no frontier.
So how do we tackle those challenges? The challenges of visibility. You said it is
very easy, very easy.
Yeah.
My people perish for lack of vision, and if you have the vision, then go out there and implement it religiously. So we have to start looking for leaders who want to follow the script or plan. Most of them come without a plan. They can't tell you what their vision for 4 years is when it comes to sports or the game. So they just get in there and they flow by the day. Our football problems are known. We know where to put the emphasis. We know where to steer the drive and get the kind of results we need. It's not rocket science anymore. It's been done. Rwanda, the other day, is beginning to host basketball competitions. Basketball African League, we started in Nigeria.
FIBA Africa,
NBA has taken it over. Nigeria is not even part of it anymore. We must show effort. Sometimes effort is everything. And this effort must be deliberate. There must be a plan. And if you have a good plan, it's halfway done. What does the Japanese, what do they say? Good thinking, good product.
Yokinai, Yokanga. Mitch, sometimes we laugh because we can't cry. I think that is just the thing. We laugh because we laugh because we can't cry. But I think your passing shot. What will you say to Nigerian sport? The sport. I don't know what do I address these fans or administrators or the sport? Okay, but let's take this call first. We have Akin calling us, calling from London. Hello, Akin.
Yeah. Good morning, Ken. Good afternoon.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Akin. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to contribute to the program being heard now, it's just an opinion. My own is that the clinic has not really performed at all. Like one of the callers did say, in the days of Stephen Keshi, when we have local players among the national team. But all true, look at how the clinic has done with the crops of these players that we had of prison, all imported. So does it mean that the local players are not good at all? This is not too good on his part. All he does about is just to be gallivanting all over the place with Infantino, the FIFA president. And at the end of the day, in some of the interviews I've seen him granted, he will be talking about his secondary school days in Warri. We have better schools than that, and that wasn't the job he was employed to come and do at NFF or NFF. We have better people who have tried to be on that board, but they never got there. So why Nigeria is still this way, I don't know. And another thing again is that the panel you've been bringing, yes, they've been fantastic, no disrespect to them. But please, Ken, try and bring in ex-footballers who can really tell you what has been going wrong within the football circle. It should be good. But when you keep on bringing journalists or people that just know about the round leather game, yes, it's good, but they will not know the nitty-gritty of what is really going on there. Nigeria, for me, when they did not qualify, I was so happy. Because we don't want to be happy for 1 month and go into oblivion for the rest of the month again. The election is coming in. Look at the way Nigeria is today. Do we want to laugh for 1 month and everybody go into their cocoon again? I don't even want Nigeria to qualify for anything because the country is in a total mess now. The country is in a total mess. So it's not about us winning one, going for one tournament and the whole place again. People start crying all over the place. See kidnapping going all over the place. stick killing all over the place. JSS2 people killing people all over the place. What sort of a nation are we?
Okay.
So please, it's not so good at all. We don't want all these people to qualify for any tournament again now until Nigeria is sorted. Maybe Nigeria needs to collapse and rise again. Not all this back and forth that we are doing. The way things are done in developed countries is not the way we are running it in Nigeria. The clinic at some point was.
Hello, okay.
The academicals in those days, youth funds in those days, where are they?
The mess can serve as a fertilizer for a new plant. Okay. Sometimes you need to get that seed buried for you to see a new life. And I think it's time for us to believe that the future can be bright, and that brightness is all of us. And the solution is all of us. The ex-footballers, yes, we've seen the ex-footballers. They've made it a habit now of visiting politicians. Some people have been reacting negatively. Oh, why do you go and see these politicians? I think the message is very clear. They are going to see the politicians, but for me, it is a reminder to those politicians that that's the strength of sports, the strength of the game, the strength of what people believe in, and that the politicians cannot just see that visit as merely saying, oh, they are using sports. They have to see the underlying message, which is that if they get into power, sports should be at the front line. Sports should become the engineering tool. It should become the catalyst, indeed the eye popper. They should use it not just for gallery play. It should be reality. And I tell you, there will be a change. Of course, you want to believe that the message is sinking, that with time, we'll begin to see how people can get involved. After all, the ex-footballers should also go down and prepare to take over. Like in Cameroon, Eto Fields, why not? In Nigeria, but then in the horizon, how many are warming up? You need to warm up to get into the game.
Thank you very much, Mitchell. It's been a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you. Happy Sunday. And,
happy Sunday. And happy Palm Sunday.
Triumphant entry.
Thank you very much. All right, man. Thank you very much, Mitch. Okay, gentlemen, that is it. We've had this talk. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, but we won't deceive ourselves by saying we should lock down the sport industry while other industries, nowhere is perfect. We have the oil and gas, we have the finance, we have the judiciary. So we must take deliberate steps in getting sure. We've talked so much about the budget, about, okay, why should it be? You are saying sport get this, but actually is less than 2% that goes to sport development. So we'll bring out the issues and shed light on what should be done. So we can't lock down the industry. We can't.
Okay.
In 2013, when we went on to win the Nations Cup, because the league was to a large extent functional, we were able to recruit players from the league to play in the national team. Now, we are not able to get players off that system because it's no longer as functional as it used to be. And I will come out and see some journalists defending the fact that we do not need players from our local leagues. What we need to do now is to make sure that we're able to get the local leagues fully functional, get it running and running properly. I had a friend coming from Ibadan not too long ago and said whenever he goes to watch matches in the stadium, he's always impressed with the turnout of the crowd that he sees. There are some little things we need to work on. If we do not work on the little things, the big ones will not stand.
If you don't work on the little things, like we said, you see beautiful edifices everywhere. But then it is, before you look at the superstructure, it is the substructure, the foundation. If it is not strong, it's like building on quicksand. So we need to get that in fixed. It has to be, development has to be bottom up. I don't know, it is Palm Sunday. So let's celebrate triumphant entry. I'm Ken Ochonogo. Have a blessed Sunday.